Hello, beautiful beings. Love and laughter. Tanya Rainbow Horse here. Thank you so much for showing up to receive the message. This video is for you beautiful beings on your spiritual awakening path who are learning how to own their power more each and every moment. I got a really exciting, juicy experience to share with you that I had today. And it really was a clear insight on owning your power in each and every moment. It was a very strong learning experience. I was out with my family and we went to frozen yogurt. Okay, and I walked in, they have frozen yogurt or you can get some ice cream. And I love spumoni ice cream, and I saw it and I'm like, that's what I'm getting. But I looked in there and I realized there wasn't a whole lot left, but there should have been at least enough for one scoop. So we get in line, my family's getting their frozen yogurt, and I'm like, oh, I already know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get up there. And so they're putting their stuff up on the weigh scale to weigh their frozen yogurt. And I was like, oh, I'd like to just get one scoop of spumoni ice cream. And the woman says to me, I'm so sorry, we're out of spumoni ice cream. We don't have any right now. And so immediately I was feeling awkward because one, I'd already looked in the container, and yes, it was pretty low, but if she scraped it out, she could have gotten one scoop. So right there, I already had seen that, so I knew there's a little bit in there. And so then I felt awkward because, well, I was having an experience, a growing experience. So I kind of felt like I wanted to cry. I kind of felt like I want to scream. I was annoyed and irritated, but I sat with it and I allowed it. And so my husband and daughter, they got their ice cream, and we sat down, and I was kind of talking to my husband, and I was like, he's like, well, did you just want to get something else? And I was like, no, I really want the spumoni, but I was looking in the container and I realized that there was enough for at least one scoop. And he's like, well, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you tell her, hey, can you just go ahead and scoop the rest out for me? Or something like that. And I was like, that's legit. I appreciated that perspective from him. I really appreciated hearing that from him, because at that moment I realized I totally didn't own my power in that situation because I did not say that. I could have easily said that, but instead I got stuck up in the feeling of the situation. And so I chose to be quiet and not own my power because I was feeling awkward. But it was a huge eye-opener. Granted, she did actually get some different kind of ice cream and bring it to me. She's just like, I'm sorry, I felt bad. And in that moment, I knew I could have gone ahead and said something about the ice cream, but I kind of felt like this was a lesson for me to sit with. And so I just let it be how it was. But I felt a lot of gratitude for sitting with my husband and having him say, hey, you know, in normal situations, you would just go and say, hey, there's a little bit left in here, why don't you just scrape it out? Or I'd love to have the bottom scrapings of that, however much that is. And so I just was like, it was a huge eye-opener, just something so simple and little and yet so big. Because then I was thinking, you know, as I was eating the other ice cream that she graciously gave me, I'm very grateful for that, but it wasn't the point. It was the point of me, you know, not owning my power. And so then I was eating that ice cream and I'm like, well, now I'm settling for something that I don't necessarily want, which is good, but I could have owned my power and got what I want. And so in that moment, I was just kind of looking at, like, if this little situation with ice cream sticks out to me like this, what other experiences in life could I be giving away my power to and not even realizing it? It was like, whoa, big eye-opener. Like, we will just settle for mediocre things that we don't desire just because we feel uncomfortable. You know, maybe we don't feel good enough to speak up. Me, I just was stuck in the emotion of it. And as soon as after it happened and I talked to my husband, I immediately saw what I could have done better and what was going on. But I allowed myself to get stuck in how awkward I was feeling instead of taking that awkward power and moving forward anyway and saying something. I chose to just be quiet and awkward and weird about it. But I can tell you, next time, things will be different. because the message has landed home. The rocket has landed. I understand. I get to understand myself at a deeper level. I get to see where something as simple as not speaking from my observation or my knowing into a situation. I bet you that woman didn't even know there was a little extra in the bottom, or maybe who knows what, but I just really felt like the universe was showing me an experience. So like, hey, Tanya, you want to own your power? Take a look at this situation. There's much to learn from it. Say what you need. If you're already feeling awkward and weird, what's a little bit more awkward and weird? And then after that happened and came up, I was like, well, why didn't I say anything other than being stuck in my awkward energy? And it was like, well, if I said anything, maybe I would cause a problem, maybe I'd cause conflict, maybe I'd irritate the person. And then I was like, fuck all that. We are born here to live fully vibrant lives and to ask for what we want clearly and state it and know that we can get it. You know, knowing that using our voice is very powerful, and you can always own your power and be respectful and move towards what you desire, what you want, where you want to go, what you want to represent. So, how many people like experience simple little things like that during their day, but you know, those small acts add up to be a lot, and if you do a lot of those little acts, you know, over a day, you can imagine how much that adds up to power that you're giving away, or you're not speaking up for yourself, you know, that it's just a deficit or a place where you're leaking your energy, allowing other people to have authority over your life because you just didn't use your voice, because you felt awkward or you didn't want to disturb anybody. I wasn't gonna, looking at the situation, speaking up for myself and owning that was not gonna harm anybody. She could have said yes, she could have said no, but the proof was right there. There was enough ice cream to scoop out, and I chose not to say anything because I felt awkward and weird and I didn't own my power. But it sure gave me perspective to see that next time that happens, something like that happens, and somebody's like, oh, we don't have it, but I clearly see something, I'm gonna say, well, actually, there's some right in the bottom there. Can you scrape it up? I'm cool with it. If it's only half a scoop, I'm grateful, because that's what I want in life, and I'm gonna own it. Amazing, isn't it? How one little experience can open up a can of worms for you in different ways. So next time you're out and about, being aware of how you interact with the people that you're around and the patterns that you have can really be eye-opening to see how you own your authority, you own your power. Are you, you know, in your will, or are you disempowered, or are you allowing your will to be faltering, and all that good stuff, you know? So I invite you to be open to how your interactions go throughout the day. Are you asking for what you want and you know that you can have and you know you deserve? Or are you leaking out energy in ways because you don't feel like you're worthy of speaking up, or you're good enough, or your voice matters? Anyways, that's what I got for you beautiful beings today. Thank you so much for showing up to receive the message. Until next time, until the next video, love and laughter.